with John from Devildriver. How you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Very well, thank you. It's good to have you guys back in the UK. Obviously, last time we saw you here was back last October.
Yep.
How's this tour compared to that one?
It's good, just nicer venues. So it's cool. Last time we did 2 nights at the Relentless Garage, so tonight perform, we never played here. It's bigger, it's just going to be more of a proper show with more lights and stuff like that, where last time was kind of just small and intimate, you know.
And how's the tour been treating you so far? Like
Good.
crowd-wise?
We were most excited we've been for a tour in a long time. So, and the crowds have been awesome.
And you guys have brought out 36 Crazy Fists this time. It's obviously not the first time you've brought them out. What is it about those guys that keeps bringing you back to them?
Friendship. They're just so easygoing, no egos, and we love their music. So it just, you know, musically it's different, you know. Brock's singing voice is one of my favorites too as well. So that being just good friends and no problems in the past, if it's able to be done, we want to do it, you know, to work together.
And I think the UK has a real affinity with you guys. You have a very loyal fan base over here, as does 36 Crazy Fists, so it's kind of a perfect scenario, really. The thing that I find with you guys is that you're always trying to outdo yourselves every time you sort of come over and tour. You're always trying to like break a world record or like trying to get people to go crazier than the last time you were here.
That's the point, right? You know, build it up, make it better and better, you know. So I don't know what we really have planned for tonight. I don't think we can do the world's biggest circle pit in here, but we'll try. You know.
I was going to say, if you already got Guinness on the phone going, like, you know, we're going to try and break the world record again, guys.
We're back. Yeah, no, we don't. But yeah, I don't know. We're just going to try and throw it down harder than we ever have. So.
And this is the last part of the touring cycle for Pray for Villains. Was it important for you guys to kind of bring it back to the UK one last time before you take some time off?
Yes. Well, we're not taking any time off. We kind of just squeezed in the album, recording the new album 6 months ago. But we lined up with what we have going to do a headliner in the UK. It's going to be a long time before we can do that again, so we wanted to do this one last one. And
the new album you're working on, Beast, what can we expect from that? How far along is it?
We're done. We actually approved the final mixes, I don't know, 2 days ago. So it should be out February 22nd, I think.
And what's it sort of sound like in comparison to the other albums?
I've said it before, like we kind of spent time, well, Pray for Villains was kind of like we expanded the sound a little bit in terms of like, let's see how far we can take things, not trying to be the heaviest band we can be. And we did that, and it kind of took us where it took us. And this one was kind of like, let's just not try and be anything different, but just fucking brutal, you know? It's I'm not saying it's like, you know, sounds like brutal death metal or anything. It's still us. But when you hear the album, you'll be able to tell that it just has a sense of eagerness to it, and pace that's just a little unrelenting, you know.
That's one of the things that I've noticed with your albums as they've gone through. They're always a little bit heavier and a little bit more melodic than the previous one before.
Yes. But the melodic side of things is where I think it's more non-existent on the new one. You know, it's just more not as European sounding at times. This one's just pretty straightforward. Not straightforward, but just real riff heavy, you know. More Pantera than In Flames, put it that way, you know what I mean?
That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
And the writing of it came together quite quickly. Was it something that you guys kind of had building up, you just wanted to get out?
It didn't come together quickly. It was the fact that we just knew we wanted to put out, we didn't want to wait 4 years to put an album. So actually we were writing for this album when Pray for Villains was being mixed. It wasn't even out yet. So we just knew we had to start early. So we basically wrote through the whole touring cycle of Pray for Villains. And then it was great. We just had this month and a half off in the States, so we just went right in and got it done. Kind of just have it under our belt. And then we finally started mixing like 4 months later, you know.
That's one of the interesting things about you guys. You always seem to be on tour. You always seem to be on the road. And is that over the years something that's affected how you guys write as a band? Has it made it better for you guys, a lot easier for you to write, or has it made it a bit more difficult?
No, writing for us is, most of us, is the funnest, most gratifying part of being in a band. So writing is not like a task for us. It's like more fun. So no, we don't really find it hard to find time to do that.
And obviously you said the album's coming out in February. Does that mean you're not going to stop touring, you're just going to be touring now, and then the album's going to come out and then you're going to start completely all over again?
No. just keep going, because if you're not sitting at home, I mean, if you're sitting at home, what are you building, you know? Nothing. So, I mean, we understand the idea you can oversaturate yourself. So we're trying not to do that, but we just enjoy being out here and working hard, so.
I think when you say, like, obviously you oversaturate yourself, a lot of bands, they release albums quite quickly, so therefore, yeah, as you say, people get bored of them. But I think every time you guys release an album, there's more anticipation for it than it was the previous album.
That's good.
So maybe you guys are doing the reverse effect, you're making people want your albums more.
I'd like to think that all our releases, granted each one is special and some fans gravitate towards other ones than not, but it definitely, each one has its own vibe, and so I think they know that what we're going to put out, it's not just going to be the same bullshit that we did last time, and that's where you fall into a problem, you know, putting out the same record 10 times. So, and we definitely won't release anything, or like, we wouldn't have gone into record an album if we felt that, like, guys, this is kind of just mediocre stuff, you know. So we're pretty aware of what we're doing and what we like to hear from ourselves. So.
And one of the things with, obviously, as we just said, with the albums coming out, everything gets taken up a level. You know, the venues get bigger, the tours get longer every time you release an album. Is that something that you put pressure on yourselves when you write? Because, you know, do you sit there and go, okay, this album is potentially going to take us to the next level? Is it something that...
Well, the attendance of the show tonight wouldn't affect the way we would, like, write a riff, no. But, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Just because your band's getting bigger doesn't necessarily affect the way you write, unless we got massive off some radio single or something, then there would be pressure, but that's just not the case with us. We have relatively no radio play except for college radio and stuff, and we're just a metal band like every other metal band that makes it. It's usually just based on the music, you know, speaks for itself.
And hard work as well.
Yeah, coming around, you can't just come here once every 5 years, you know.
One of the things that we've been asking people quite a lot recently, and I want to ask you as well, you can include the new album on this as well, because you've got 5 albums now. If somebody was putting together a time capsule based on your musical career, what 3 of your songs would you pick to represent yourself and Devildriver?
Probably Resurrection Boulevard, off Pray for Villains, a song called Dead to Rights off our latest CD, Beast, by the way, the album is called Beast, and probably End of the Line off The Fury of Our Maker's Hand.
And what would be the reason for those 3 songs?
They just have a... Resurrection Boulevard is definitely by far, I think, the... like, just, it's very stretched for us, you know. Dez, like, really had a different vocal approach, and I think it's just a real dramatic song, and that's what I like about it. Like, it's just, it's really dramatic, and it doesn't sound like any other song we have, for sure. And The Line is, like, always in my heart, is like, it's the first song we wrote for the second record when we really felt we had something to prove as a band, that we were better, like, because our first record's good, but it's very simple and didn't really show what we were capable of. So that, and that's one of everyone's favorite songs, so it's like, always reminds me, like, yeah, at that time, and that we did something right, you know, like, people like, you know, Rob Flynn told me, like, yeah, you know, you're a great band, it was about, like, End of the Line, that's the jam, you know, and, like, that feels good. And all my friends and people I look up to always tell me that that's one of their favorite songs as well. And Beast, or, you know, Dead to Rights is just a song of Beast, is just it has the best riff the band's ever had. It's just like, anybody I play for, they're like, God damn it, that's a riff. So I knew we did something right there, and it's definitely the most intense song we've ever written. It's the first track, and it just sets the tone for, we're not fucking around, you know.
And now you've whetted everyone's appetites, and
yeah.
You have to wait 3 months for the album now. So, yeah. But obviously, if the band did end tomorrow, if you released Beast and then that was it for Devildriver, how would you guys want to be remembered? What would you want your legacy to be?
Just a band that, to be honest with you, kind of just sort of surprised everybody, you know. Like, it's tough for, like, coming from with all of Dez's success. It's like a lot of times when a member of another band that was already extremely famous tries something else, it kind of usually, oh, it's good, but it's not as good as what he was in before. But I feel like Devildriver is, like, 9 out of 10 people would say that Devildriver was way better than Cold Chamber, you know, and, like, that's an accomplishment for him, and that's an accomplishment for us as musicians to not be constantly undermined by that, you know. And we feel we've completely outgrown that shadow, you know, and our fans are our own fans.
which must be something that's incredibly gratifying for you guys.
Totally, yeah, you know. Especially for Des, you know, that's like, when you start something else, you're not always going, well, you know, hopefully maybe it'll just be a little bit of success, you know. It's like, but he's almost surpassed it, you know, which is fucking cool.
And one last thing, if you had a message for the Devildriver fans that are going to be watching this, what would your message be? What would you like to say to them?
Thanks for the support. We're trying as hard, the best we can, to deliver you the best music we can. So thanks for tuning in and checking us out when you can.
Cool.